And Mr. Chair, we are live.
Okay, good evening. This is the meeting of the Water and Sewer Commission for the town of Northborough, Massachusetts for August 17th, 2020. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Water and Sewer Commission will be conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted. However, at this point, I'd like the Public Works Director, Scott Charpentier, to provide additional information on how you can participate in tonight's public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To view or listen to the meeting and public hearing tonight, you need to search for Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube. You can watch it through that live stream. If you choose to participate in the public hearing portion of the meeting, you should select the URL that was provided on the meeting agenda. For public comments during the public comment period of the public hearing, please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person. If you're dialing in by phone off the phone number from the agenda, dial *9 to raise your hand and wait to be recognized by the chair. Please note that part of your phone number will be visible to the viewing public during the meeting. If you're participating in the public comment period by Zoom, click raise hand on the bottom of your screen and wait to be recognized by the chair. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Oh, great. Thank you, Scott. And again, that information is for the public hearing, which is coming up in a couple of minutes. Our first action item on tonight's agenda is approval of the minutes from the July 22nd, 2020 meeting. And at this point, I'll open it up for any comments from commission members.
Brian Furman, I have no comments.
And I have no comments.
Okay, I have just one possible edit on the first page on item number 2, kind of in the middle of the paragraph where it says along with the fund balances, suggesting adding and actual usage for the prior fiscal year. Kind of reads okay either way, but suggesting possibly adding an and. So if you guys are in agreement with that.
Fine with me.
Okay, then this will be a motion by roll call to approve the minutes of the July 22nd, 2020 regular meeting as amended. Commissioner Furman.
Aye.
Commissioner Pepe.
Aye.
And Commissioner Meter, aye. All right, our next item is public hearing to consider a water and sewer rate adjustment. And I'll open the public hearing. Pursuant to the regulations for users of the Northborough Water Supply and Distribution System, Section C, subsection 6, the Northborough Water and Sewer Commission will conduct a public hearing to consider a water and sewer rate adjustment. Information as to how to participate in the public comment portions of the meeting was previously provided in the public hearing notice in legal ads and was summarized by Public Works Director Scott Charpentier right at the beginning of our session. So typically, the way I conduct the public hearings is we've opened the public hearing at this point. I will turn it over to Scott Charpentier, Public Works Director, and our consultant who developed the study. After that presentation, we'll take comments from commission members. If there are public participants, we'll take comments from you at that point. Then we'll close the public hearing, and I anticipate we'll take a vote immediately afterwards adopting the rates. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Scott Charpentier, Public Works Director, for a presentation. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll go over briefly the schedule that we've implemented this year, and then turn it over to Dave Fox from Raftellus Financial for more of the details on the rate study. And also there's a different piece this year relevant to the flat sewer users. So this, as the chairman said, this is the public hearing for our FY21 water and sewer rates. The first presentation for the rates, the draft rate study, was in front of the Water Sewer Commission July 22nd. That was an informal meeting to bring to the attention of the Water Sewer Commission where the rate study was going. The next presentation of it was to the Board of Selectmen on August 10th. That was publicly broadcast as well. That was an informal informational session to get it to a broader audience. And that brings us here today to the public hearing where rates are formally considered and adopted. Hereafter, the rates will become effective for users on October 6th, and they'll be seen in the February 1st bills, in between which we will have a mailing to all users so they receive the adjusted rate tables at the beginning of September. So Dave, if you'd like to go over a summary of the rate study.
Sure, thanks, Scott. You can hear me okay? Great. Yeah, I'll give a real brief overview of the process we went through to perform the rate study this year. Very similar to prior years. I've been working with the town of Northborough now for the last 4 or 5 years on the annual rate studies. We typically look at a 5-year window of the financial forecast for both the water and the sewer funds, taking into consideration historical actuals, your upcoming budget for the fiscal year, as well as where we think things are going to trend financially over a 5-year planning horizon, looking at operating expenses, MWRA assessments, existing debt service schedules, the financing of capital improvements plans. As most people are aware, the water and sewer industry is heavily reliant on capital infrastructure, and that capital infrastructure needs to be renewed and replaced regularly. So working with the town to understand what needs to be done in terms of capital improvements over the next 5 years, when those projects are going to take place, how much those projects are projected to cost, how we're going to pay for those projects, either through generating enough cash in a given year to pay for those projects, or potentially issuing debt or getting some sort of loan to prolong the payment if it's a larger asset. That's a reasonable way of doing things to reduce rate shock on customers. Putting together a financial forecast of all those different revenue requirements, all those different costs, and determining what rate adjustments are necessary to be able to support that financial plan, not only to pay for all those costs, but also to maintain financial viability through having enough debt service coverage, financial viability with having enough days cash on hand in terms of just a rainy day fund, a savings account. Everybody personally should have a savings account. Water and sewer funds are no different. I think that what we're going through right now in the pandemic is the exact reason why our water and sewer fund should have reserves for those times of rockiness. Putting all that together and then looking at what the rate adjustments need to be to support that whole plan. We're only looking at, we have a forecast of rates going out 5 years, but we're only making a recommendation this year for the fiscal year 2021 rates, as Scott already mentioned. With that being said, we are recommending a 4% increase on the water volumetric rate. We're recommending no increase on the fixed charge. We had a significant increase in the fixed charge last year to try to bump up the revenue stability for the water fund. And as such, this year, we're only recommending an increase on the volumetric rate. That fixed charge is going to stay the same, and that's a 4% increase on the water volumetric. On the sewer side, we're recommending a 5% increase. Over the course of the last year, we performed a study, and Scott alluded to this, There is a sewer only flat rate. So if a customer is provided sewer service only, they do not have water service, there's not a good way to know exactly how much water they're using and then to have that be commensurate or some sort of indication of how much sewer they're sending or producing. We went through a study and determined that the consumption that's assumed for a flat rate only customer should be lower than it was, and as such, we're making that recommendation and that change in fiscal year 2021. There's a significant reduction of that sewer flat rate charge along with the 5% increase. That all amounts to, just to put this into some perspective for you, that your typical customer is currently paying about $208 for water and sewer service combined per quarter. That customer's bill would go up to about $217. That's a 4.4% increase in their total bill. To break that down a little bit further for you, that's approximately $9 more per quarter, $3 per month, or 10 cents additional per day for a good, clean, safe water and sewer service. To provide a little bit of context there, just anecdotally, water and sewer rates have been going up anywhere from 5.5% to 6.5% nationally for the last 15 years or so. So well below that national average there in terms of the increase on your typical customer. And in my eyes, this is a very reasonable rate increase, right in line with where we thought it was going to be about a year ago when we were going through this same process. So, and that's wonderful that I can say that, and we're having these recommendations that they are right on par with where we thought they were going to be given COVID-19, the pandemic. A lot of my other clients that I work for are seeing significantly higher rate increases necessary to be able to support a declining revenue base. Luckily, we have not seen that situation too much in Northborough. So I think it's a great thing that we're right on par with what our recommendations were about a year ago. I'll pause there and turn it over for any questions you or anybody else may have.
Okay, thank you, David. Any comments from the commission? I know we had extensive comments during our July 22nd meeting, which was mostly editorial. We had nothing in terms of the raw data, as I recall. But at this point, I'll open it up to commission members. Bryant?
Mr. Chairman, no, I was happy to see the corrections or the edits made that we had discussed, and I don't have anything further.
Okay, thank you. David?
I'm good with it.
Sorry, can you speak up just a little?
I'm good with it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I had no further comments at this point. I don't see anything from the public. Julianne, do you want to chime in as a person from the public?
Thank you. No, I think all the presentations have been really clear and understandable, and I don't have anything to add, but thanks for asking.
No, okay, great. So I don't see anybody in the public at this point. So I guess I will entertain a motion by roll call to close the public hearing. Commissioner Furman.
Aye.
Commissioner Pepe.
Aye.
Commissioner Meter. Aye. So we have closed the public hearing, and as I indicated, I anticipate we will take a vote. So this will be a motion by roll call to adopt the water and sewer rates as presented to the commission this evening at the public hearing. Commissioner Furman.
Aye.
Commissioner Pepe.
Aye.
Commissioner Meter. Aye. All right. At this point, that's our last formal item on the agenda. However, we do open it up for any other business. And at this point, I'll hand it over to Public Works Director Scott Charpentier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Dave Fox, Raftellus, for another good rate study this year and presentation.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Yes, thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
So we did receive a draft permit from EPA, their NIPSI permit, or for sanitary sewer discharge. The public comment period is open for that permit, that draft permit that was issued. Public comment closes August 28th. We have Weston and Sampson reviewing the draft permit conditions as compared to the prior permit, compiling a list of comments that we're going to send back to DEP and EPA. The expectation is to receive, and I'm looking at my calendar, to receive comments from Weston and Sampson by the end of this week, so that I can get it to each one of the commissioners individually for review, and then get it over to EPA in time for the public comment period. Some of the hot points, I guess, changes in the permit. PFAS, they are listing that as a constituent they want tested. Not a lot of detail on where they want it tested, other than influent, effluent, and sludge. So I don't know where we fall in that, but that's one of the comments I expect us to issue. Some of the thresholds have changed when it comes to testing. You know, pH has changed. A few other things have changed. Some of the dates have changed. They've expanded the lower concentration windows, the seasonal windows. They expanded the reporting requirements for us. The DEP issued a requirement for I&I 5 years ago. We're in full compliance. EPA's permit, while DEP is covering the I&I piece, EPA is picking up heavy on the operations and maintenance, formal written plans, and reporting. So those are the big changes: expansion of seasons, PFAS, and O&M reporting. So you'll expect to see something from me by the end of the week, kind of outlining what our comments are.
All right, very good. Any updates you want to provide on your capital projects?
Yeah, the building is on the street for bid. We have filed sub bids coming in this week, and then the general bids will be the first week of September. I've reached out to Assabet, and the hope and expectation is this time next year, the students can be engaged in outfitting the building. You know, the construction schedule is that they will be building in the spring now, as opposed to in the fall, like we were thinking. And that'll give us the summer to secure building permits, and hopefully the students can begin the following fall. Right now, the students would not have been eligible to work on the project due to safety protocols at the high school relevant to COVID-19. The other project we have is the water storage tank. We cannot work on that during high demand season, which is now, and includes September as well, and starts to taper off in October. And they're not going to do it in the winter. So we're going to bid that out during the winter. There's a long lead item on the mixing system, so that'll give us an opportunity to get the mixing system procured, on site, ready to go, so that come spring they can do the work. So the schedule is not too negatively impacted on the tank project. I&I is ongoing this year with investigation. And Tim, do you have any updates on valve turning or anything else?
No, just that we've started working on the second area, in town. We did section A, we're working on section B now. And we exercised all the water gates and repaired any leaks we found on all the roads that were being paved this season.
So that's an operational update.
I'm sorry, is that stuff typically done during the daylight hours, or are you doing things at nighttime?
It's done during the daylight hours.
So at this point, you're not doing anything at nighttime?
No. Nope.
Again, I'm just asking for informational purposes for people that check in on the video. Going back to the building, Scott, just quickly, you mentioned filed sub bids. You have what, electrical and roofing, or just electrical, or what do you have?
Only electrical. There's a new transformer pad being put in, which Jack brought the cost up right around the filed bid threshold of $25,000. I'd rather be safe and have a filed sub bid and have it come in low than find out the low bidder is 25.5 and have it not comply with bidding law. So it's only electrical.
Okay, and I guess the only other item, and you mentioned it, I think, possibly, if I recall correctly, at the selectmen meeting, no new movement on Marlboro side, the litigation still open.
No, Marlboro's DPW commissioner, John Galuli, is no longer with the city. I don't know whether the new person in that seat is acting or interim or permanent. I have reached out to him to try to come together on a comment letter to EPA so that we are co-permittees. And I thought it would be a good idea that we at least work together tangentially on our own comment letters, but I have not heard back from him after 2 phone calls.
Okay. Anything further?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you as always. So anything further from any of the commission members?
No.
See David shaking his head no. Bryant, I can see through that black haze, and he's shaking his head no.
It's going up and down, but it means no.
Oh, okay, good. Just like a bobblehead.
Just to fake you out.
Yeah. Okay, well, if that's the case, then this will be a motion by roll call to adjourn the meeting of the Water and Sewer Commission.
Can
However,
I ask a quick question?
no, you had your chance. No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay. I was so I'm on a well up where I live, and so I don't really pay attention to water restrictions. Are we looking at a possible water restriction? Do we have one right now because of the drought?
We currently do not have a water restriction. We're under the MWRA's supply, and when a water restriction is required, it comes from the MWRA to us.
Uh-huh.
If we were utilizing our wells and our water management registration, then we would be, but we're not.
Okay. And do they give you any kind of updates about that? Like, well, if we don't get rain?
I get emails weekly from the Massachusetts Drought Advisory Committee. We're at level 2 throughout the Commonwealth, as most people know. Vast majority of the communities out there that are on groundwater have mandatory restrictions in place. The community I live in, Grafton, does. Northborough does not. We're on the MWRA, and the MWRA communities do not as of today.
Okay, thanks.
Next meeting, are we just gonna wait until something comes in?
Probably, I would say schedule something in September tentatively. Since we're all here. It's easier to do it now than via email, I guess.
So September 15th is the 3rd Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
God willing.
Okay.
Tentatively, the 15th at 5:30. That's back to back for you, Julianne.
Or are we going the evening now, or are we going afternoon?
And do you want to do afternoon?
Oh yeah, we can do afternoon. Yeah, we can do 2 o'clock.
Okay. That's good for me.
Okay.
Same here. That's fine.
Okay. And Julianne's question actually jogged my memory, Scott. Maybe you want to, as we have this opportunity, that there are no irrigation system connections to the municipal water system allowed. You might want to chime in just very quickly on that.
Sure, that is correct. Our regulations have required for many years, disallowed any irrigation systems to be connected into the municipal drinking water supply. There's a couple reasons for that. One is safety related. It poses a substantial cross-connection hazard. And it is also a conservation action, so to reduce water consumption. So again, in accordance with our regulations, you have an irrigation system, it has to be on an irrigation well. It cannot be connected to the municipal water supply in Northborough.
All right, great. Thanks, Julianne. That jogged my memory on that. It's always good to get that out during the warmer weather. Actually, probably earlier than the warmer weather would be better. And I do want to acknowledge he's behind the scenes. Our host, Fire Chief David Parente, helped us coordinate things today. So I do want to acknowledge his help. He's probably not going to come on screen because he's shy. But so I've
I'm
heard.
shy. No.
So I've heard. So anyway, thank you for your efforts tonight. We appreciate it. And I guess at this point, I'll go back to our motion by roll call to adjourn the meeting of the Water and Sewer Commission. Commissioner Pepe, Commissioner Furman,
Aye.
Commissioner Pepe,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reader, aye. So again, thank you all for your participation, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.